Lori here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing 2 of the Dollar Tree hearts. So it can be hard to find the metal frames, but it's really easy to find these. So I thought we would do something fun with these in case you can't find the metal frames. And we're going to be using yarn. So this will be fun. So it's super easy to find these tinsel covered heart wreaths. And you can use these very similar to the metal frame ones. All you have to do is take off the tinsel. Sometimes you can find where it begins. Sometimes you just cut it and then you can unravel it from there. Okay, so it has these little knobs on it. Okay, that these are kind of tucked on. The tinsel is kind of wrapped around. Okay. So I'm just going to do that to both of these, and then I'll show you what we're going to do to them. So once you get all of the tinsel off, you can see it actually looks quite a bit like the frame, the metal frame. The only difference is it has these little pegs on it, and you can either use them or cut them off. I'm going to keep them on here for right now because I want to see if it's really easy or not to cover them. The way that I'm planning to do this, I think we'll be able to cover them pretty easily. So I'm going to start off by taking a little hot glue. I'm going to glue some of my, and this is the chunky yarn, right there on that point. And we're going to just pull it all the way around. Get all that tinsel off. Okay, on the point, I want to glue some of this down just to keep it in place. I'm using a low temperature glue gun. Okay, and what I'll do is I will cut some of my yarn, because if you're working with a huge amount of yarn, it can be overwhelming. So just cut yours down to a manageable piece. It makes it easier to go around, okay, because you do have to go all the way around. Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way around and wrap it. This part's super easy. And what you can do is if it starts moving, just put a little bit of glue there. So every once in a while, you want to put, you know, just a little bit of glue, mostly at the bottom, just to keep it in place. But you can see you really can't see those little pieces, which I didn't think you would be able to. So this yarn is pretty chunky. If you use yarn from the Dollar Tree or somewhere else, you might need to kind of deal with the little pegs, but I think for the most part, it's going to be pretty easy to cover. You can even use them to kind of keep it in place, but I actually have a plan for the bottom. Okay. So every once in a while, I'm just going to run some glue down here. Try to keep them as close as I can. You just want to keep them pretty close together. That way they'll cover up anything. Okay, when I finish with one roll, I'm just going to come back here and glue it down. Let's kind of get those pieces in place. There we go. Okay, and then I can just start with a new roll. It's real easy just to piece them in together. You're not going to be able to tell. So what I do is I'll glue it together in the back. So this one and this one, just kind of glue them together, like that. Okay. Okay. There we go. Glue some of this down. Right. That way I can keep it in place. All right. There we go. So we're to the center. So I want to make sure I'm going to cover this. So this has a very big angle here, right in here. So you want to make sure you glue this down so that it'll cover that. This is our hanger. We can just leave that. I don't know if we'll use that or not. Okay, and then I'm going to go around. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to leave that little piece out because that's going to help us with hanging it. Okay. Put a little glue in here. Just to keep that in place. I want to make sure I keep my shape. All right. Now, I thought it would be really fun to take a different color. Let's get some of this cut off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the bottom. So I'm going to kind of come in here, slip in the back. I'm going to glue some of this white in right here on this little frame part in the back, right there, just like that. Okay. And there's several ways you could do it. You could just glue it all the way around like this. That is super cute. So you would just glue it all the way around. Or you can take it and just go around each ribbon just on that bottom ring. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. This is super, super fluffy. You see how that's going to look? I don't know which one I like better. Let's just see. So what you would do is once you get it on there, you'll have to fluff it out so that you'll be able to see it. But let's do one this way, and then maybe we'll do one the other way. Okay, so this one of course is going to take longer. Okay. So I'll just go all the way around doing this, and then we'll get started on the next one. Okay, Okay, so once I've gotten all the way around, I'm just going to trim it off and glue it in. So one thing that I figured out as I was starting to go around is that I needed to leave these loose so that they would fluff up against each other, and then you can really see them a lot better. So make sure you're making those loose so that you can kind of fluff them up. I did kind of go back around this first set just because I had made it way too tight, but you can see how pretty is that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so with our second one, I want to do pink. I thought it would be fun to have different colored. So we're going to do the exact same process on this one. I'm going to cut a little bit just to see if I can make it a little faster. Okay, so very similar. Kind of starting out the same way. We've got our pink here. I like this, it's a light pink. Just gonna kind of put some glue down this little middle bar so I can kind of glue this piece in, just like that. And then I'll glue this little piece around the back. There. Okay. Then we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the other one. Just going to kind of try to stay as close as we can. When you get around these corners, it is a little bit more difficult, but there's a lot of different things you could do. If it bothers you, you can just kind of stop at one place and then kind of start at the top and come down. Okay. This beginning part is where you really need to use the most glue just to kind of get it going in the direction that we want. Okay. All right. And you can use these little tabs to try to keep things, you know, snug in there. Just kind of move things around those little tabs. So I did find that that was kind of helpful. But I want to show you, if you want to get it so that your pieces here, you don't end up with pieces stretched out, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Because that was one thing I noticed on the first one. It's because of the way this is rounded. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do halfway going up and halfway going down. So when I see that my pieces are starting to stretch out, that's when I'll stop it and start from the top. Okay. And I'm only going to do half with you, and then I will do the other half off camera, and then we'll do the little detail. Just like we did the other one. Okay. So see, when I start to get to where I'm having to stretch it across up here, what I'm going to do is trim it off right here. I'm going to glue it in here like that. Okay, and I'm going to start from this top. So right in here, okay, and then come down. That way I can keep it nice and tight, and I don't have to worry about it doing that stretching across, because it's all about the angle you're coming from. It was something I noticed when I was doing the other one. So on one side, you can see how I had to stretch it way across. But then the other side, it was really nice, but I had to stretch across the bottom. So if you just kind of split it in half and do half coming from the bottom and half coming from the top, then you won't have that problem. It's going to be the same process. I think it's just going to look a little nicer, a little tighter. So I think that is going to be the winner. Okay. So you can see already how much tighter it is than this one. And when you're putting on your little edging, it's really easy just to put your finger through and grab it and pull it down. So it's very easy just to reach through and just pull it right up. Okay. So you will have a little bit of the overlap. It's just because of the angle of the heart. If you just kind of work with it a little, you'll be able to kind of hide that. Just kind of push this one in. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Okay. So I'm going to glue this across here, and then I'm going to kind of glue it in here, right in there. There we go. So I'm going to do the other side exactly the same. So kind of going up from the bottom and then coming down from the top. So you see how it's just a lot neater than how this came out. It's not going to have that huge fluffiness either at the bottom or the top. I like that a lot. And then we're going to put a detail around this one as well. So just like with the other one, I'll just kind of glue it down in that little spot down there. Tuck it in. And then just go around each one like I did with the red. Okay, you could do a different color, but I kind of wanted them to both be with the same trim. But you could do pink with red, or really any color you wanted. The trick is to remember to keep it looser. Okay. So when you put it through, see how I just kind of stick my finger through? That makes it pretty easy. And then once I get it through, I'm going to loosen it up. That way I can make sure that I'm going to see all that really pretty edge. Okay, so I'll do the other part off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll put these together and make it look real cute. Okay, so I have both of them done. Look how cute these are. They're so fluffy, and I want to kind of put them together. Maybe even like this. Let's see, how do we want to stack them? That's kind of cute. I want to make sure I can see the heart shape, but you could do end to end like this. You could do them kind of on top of each other. Maybe down here at the bottom. Kind of like that. Okay. We're going to put them together with a bow. Okay, so let's make our bow, and then we'll figure out how we're going to put them together. All right, so I just have a few ribbons here. Okay. So this will be our big ribbon. All right, I'm just going to pull it up and do a dovetail by cutting up towards the wired edge. Let's do maybe like a 10-inch tail there. Okay. Then I'm just going to go to the 6-inch, bring my ribbon down sideways in the bow maker and twist it. So you're going to twist it on the side opposite of the loop that you just made. So you can see it's upside down. All right, so then I just go to the 6-inch on this side. You can use your finger to keep it in place, and then just like the last one, you twist it just to get that ugly side up. Okay. Then you just keep doing that. These are all going to be 6-inch. We're going to do 3 of them. On the last loop, you're not going to twist it because you're actually just going to pull it out for that second tail. So I usually just kind of measure it against the last one, just like that. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this one in next. I want this tail to come out correctly. So what I can do is just measure out the length I want and cut it off. Okay, and then I'll just put about 1 inch in here. Okay, just to get it into the bow maker, and then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to start it upside down. Wait, I'm going to start this way. All right, so about 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to come across. I want 6 inches, so I can just measure it to the loops I already have. Now this is a patterned ribbon, which means one side's going one way, one side's going the other way. I'm going to show you how to fix that. So whichever side you want, I'm going to pick this side. You pick your ribbon up and you flip it over. You need to do it when the bow loop is already made. Okay, so we have our loop. Now our second loop. And then we just need to pick this up and twist it. Doesn't matter which direction you go, and then we can pull this out. Okay, so now you can see both of my tails are going in the same direction, and so are all of my hearts. Okay, then we're going to end off with the pink, just because we have some pink on here. All right, so we'll just start with our tail, do 1 6-inch loop on each side, no twisting that second one, pull it out. Alright, then we're going to take a zip tie, we're going to run it underneath, just like this. Okay, there we go, pull that out. Now you can see where the indentation from the bow maker is. I'm just going to hold one side, move that zip tie to the back. See how you can see that indentation. Okay, so you want all of those to stay in that indentation. You can look at both sides. This is how you're going to make sure your loops stay the size you made them. Okay. Then I'm going to pull out a pipe cleaner. I want the zip tie in the back, and then I'm going to put this pipe cleaner underneath it, just like that, and then pull it really tight. Okay, now I can start fluffing my bow. So I'm going to move my ribbons first. Okay. There we go. And then I can just hold it by everything in the back and fluff it out. So to fluff it, you're just going to twist it back and forth to get those little pieces out like that. Okay, there we go. There. There, see how pretty? For the tails, for the short ones, or the 2.5 inch, I just kind of run my hands under it. And for these, I will curl them up. Just using my thumbs, I just kind of curl it around my thumb and pull it out a little. So curl it around my thumb, pull it out a little. Just like that. It just gives it a nice, pretty look. There. Okay. And there. Okay, now I can take off this zip tie because I don't need that. I can figure out where I want to have these attached. I'm thinking like this. So, kind of one on the other. And what I'll do is I'll take a zip tie, and there is a frame in here, so I'm going to go through this frame into the second frame, back up, and up in here. Okay, and I'm going to zip tie those, make sure that frame is in there. Okay, and then when I clip this off, you're not even going to see. You can see it's on there securely. If it doesn't feel like it's secure enough, you could put a second one on, but I do think it's secure enough. See, it's not going to fall. Okay, and then I can take my bow and I'll just put my little I'm going to take one of my weaving needles. I'm just going to put my pipe cleaner on there and push it down through. It just makes it really easy for me to bring it out the other side. Okay, let's get our bow kind of there. Okay, and so the same thing for the other side. I just take it, put it on that little weaving needle, push it down through. Okay, then you can see there they are. All right, so then I can tie it so I can get everything secured in there. Oh, that's so cute. Look at that. All right, let's trim that off. Just kind of tuck it in. There we go. All right, let's look at it, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a hanger for it. Look how cute that is. I think I want it to be like that. See that? Look how cute that is. Yeah, I love that. So I'm going to put the hanger on this top one. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so this is Rustic Wire. It's covered. It's really nice. And it makes a great hanger. So I'm just going to get out. Let's see, how much do we? I'm going to say about 32 inches or so. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty thick wire in here. I believe it's like 18 gauge. Yes, and it's covered. So you see how it's covered? So I can put it in here and just kind of tie it around the frame and then just kind of cover it up with my yarn. Okay, so you want to go about the same place on the other side, like this. Same thing. Just kind of put it in there, hide it with our little yarn. Okay, there we go. Hang it. It's kind of far down there by my dog, but you can see when you hang it, it'll hang perfectly right. You could make it a little bit shorter, but I will tell you, if you have something that you're hanging, if it is kind of pushing out from the wall, it means that you need a longer hanger. So just kind of determine your hanger based on, you know, if it is kind of pulling out from the wall. I love this. And I love the bow, but it's really big and you can't see both the hearts. So, okay, so I love this. I want to see both hearts. So in order to do that, I'm going to take this bow and I'm actually going to put it up at the top. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to twist it up at the top. Then I have a place for my bow. Okay, so I just twisted like a little spot in our wire. Then I'm just going to tie this on right on that spot. So I don't want to lose this bow. It's super pretty. And twisting that little spot means that the bow will stay in place and I still have a nice spot for hanging. So you can see on the back, right there. All right, now we're just going to do a small bow for right in the center. And I want to do something with a little bit more pink. So we're just going to take a couple of pink and red Valentine's ribbons and make a much smaller bow for the center. See how pretty those are? Those pretty? Those are super pretty. So we want something small. So I'm going to kind of look at it and let's see what size we want to make. All right. I'm thinking there. So about a 3-inch. Okay, so a 4-inch loop. That's what we want. Okay. So we're going to do maybe a 8-inch tail. Okay. All right. And a 4-inch loop. Okay, so I'll go down to the 4-inch. Okay. This is patterned, so I will pick it up and flip it over. I do want a little bow, but I just don't want a big bow. Because what I don't want is to lose the shape of both of those. All right, so that. Okay. So this is going to be such a cute little bow. Okay. Then we're just going to put this in the middle. So just a little 3-loop bow. Right at 4 inches. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put my zip tie under the bottom. That's my dog Sassy. Okay. Pull it out. We can see where our indentation is. Just hold, slide it around. And then I can put my little pipe cleaner back here. Make it tight. This would be easy to fluff out because it's a very small bow. But this is way more size appropriate for this project. All right. Isn't that cute? Okay. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. We get our nice big bow and we get a small bow and still keep our shape. So There we go. So we're going to put our little weaving needle, go down through it. Okay, again, go down through it. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. I just want to make sure that I have it on here correctly. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't hiding the fact that it's 2 hearts. There we go. Yes, much better. Okay, so just like before, we'll just cut it off and hide it back inside there. Here we go. All right, now let's look at it. Okay, so now you can see, we can see both hearts. We've got our little bow here in the middle. And we have our big bow at the top. Isn't that cute? Look how cute that is. And they're not going to go anywhere. They're nice and secure. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know what you think. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, y'all.